Hello and welcome to Atomic Facepalm. This is Chris.
And I'm Bree.
And this time, it's Atomic Facepalm Weekly, episode 23.
Are you sure? Yes.
No.
Yes,
Episode 23. Verified. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. You can always leave a comment in the comment section below. We love to hear from you. You can also hit subscribe, and that would be fantastic as well. So, getting into it, we're going to start off the show like we usually do. And around these parts, it's known as Games Played and Whatnot. So I actually didn't do this one. So I didn't do this one. No, I did. See, I acted. With my professional acting ability, it made it seem like I hadn't actually reviewed it. Because now, witness this. We like to call it Guy on a Game of Low. I wrote it. See? It's right there. Wow, that looks weird when you put it on the...
I don't think anybody can see that. Anyways, I don't know where you're going with this. Are you asking what games I played this week? Is that what that roundabout craziness was?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
I think so.
I'm going to ping it back to you. What games did you play this week?
Well, I played a lot of Minecraft. So I have not played Minecraft in, a
year and a half, probably?
It could be longer. It could be. So we have a subscription to Minecraft Realms, which, for those who aren't aware, it's that's kind of the easy way of doing internet play.
An easy way to make a server. It's like Minecraft's stamp-approved server instead of going through a third party and setting up your own server with mods and all that. It's just kind of vanilla Minecraft stuff.
So we tried it initially to just like make our own server, and it was challenging. So you have to do a lot of the back work that's not fun, like port forwarding and messing with your router, and then you got to try and get everybody on. It's frustrating. So Realms is pretty simple. It's like $6 a month, and you have a certain amount of people that can join. So it's great. Like, so we have a family of people that play Minecraft. Well, we did play it a lot at that point. So we had actually a couple of years ago, we had a big creative world. Because there's creative in Minecraft and there's survival, and we had a big survival world. So we really were into it for a long time. I felt like really, really into it. And then
I just felt like everybody in the family was playing it. The kids were playing it, which, I don't know. So we played for like 2 months straight, and then everybody just immediately stopped. Nobody's played at all. Then your daughter was visiting us, and then somehow we got back into it, and it was weird. Like, I had no interest in playing Minecraft. The first night we played Minecraft, I was kind of like, I'm all set. I don't know. This seems kind of dumb. And then some sort of switch clicked inside my brain, and I was like, I need to play Minecraft all the time.
Yeah,
like
great
all
pun,
weekend.
By the way, with the Switch in front of us. Fantastic stuff there.
We'll get to that. Anyways, so a lot of Minecraft was played this week.
So much Minecraft, in fact, that's really the only game I played. But let me go into a little more detail. Oddly enough, I didn't even think of this game when we were doing like our best games ever for any system thing.
I swear last week alone I was talking about how I would have chosen that. It was like on my list.
It was an oversight on my part.
Okay.
I would say, because it's one of those games where it's feast or famine 100% for me. I'm either playing it a lot or I'm not playing it at all.
Yeah.
And there have been times I was like, I just want to cancel the Realm subscription. The reason I basically kept it open was because my daughter, who doesn't live with us, lives and plays with it elsewhere. So I was like, I'll keep it open for her. It's like, it's not much. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I did, because it's kind of neat going back in and seeing what you've done after a long period of time. And Minecraft updates a lot, which is frustrating for certain things. If you want to do resource packs, obviously our 2-year-old, 1.5-year-old resource packs are not working anymore. And I have played survival with a certain one called Chroma Hills, which just doesn't work with 1.12. So that's a little weird. But
I think Minecraft suffers from that same thing where, like World of Warcraft, where it's been around for so long and there's so many iterations of it. Whenever you're Googling anything, you have to like change it to be like within the last month, within the last 6 months. Otherwise, whatever data you're getting or information you're getting is just so outdated. And that's going back into Minecraft. There's so many things, because I'm not paying attention. I'm not like huge Minecraft fan. So many different patches. I just had no idea, and the texture packs were out of date and whatever.
And Minecraft is one of those games that is so big that it's like half of the internet, I feel like. Most of YouTube is Minecraft loaded. Like, just seeing what my daughter looks at is insane. How many different, like, you think YouTube is like bloated as it is? Holy crap. Like, Minecraft is just crazy. Because not only is it for the PC, it's for the Xbox too.
And the tablet and
yeah.
your thing and yeah.
So we speaking of tablets, so we have 2 tablets, right? I've got my Android tablet and Bree has her iPad Pro. And the kids will actually play like on the PC, but then they'll also play sometimes at the same time on their tablets. It's crazy, like just Minecraft in every feasible sense of the word everywhere. Mm-hmm. So we basically, Bree and I are big into survival. I like that. It feels more like a video game to me. Creative is okay. In the sense that like Gary's mod is okay. You know, it's
Creative's good for like 15 minutes, and I go through all the blocks. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, and I'm done, and I'm bored.
Yeah, and we were talking about how we use it kind of as a blueprint. So if you want to go into survival, let's say you've got this epic tower like that you want to make, you can go into creative and kind of parse it out and say, will this work? Will this not work? Without having to worry about wasting a lot of blocks, dying, et cetera, et cetera. So. But I gotta say, again, oversight on my part because getting back into this game, it's really good. It really is. It's also a great game for a family. That honestly, it's not like overly kiddie. It's not too over the top. I think there's violence to a certain degree, but it's so pixelated and generic that it's fun. It's like everyone can kind of get in there and play. And there's a moment we were talking about where the 2 kids, like we're building out our castles, and then they wanted to go and make a restaurant in the middle of the jungle. Great. So we see them walking off. They have these matching costumes. And it was just very like, I don't know, very innocent and just endearing.
Yeah. No, it's a good game. And it really was very close to making my top 5 list just because I don't know. I see a lot of parents where they have kids and they complain about Minecraft. Oh my God, my kid talks about Minecraft all the time. And I'm just wondering, like, why don't you play with them? Why don't you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's really what you put into it is what you get out. Like, that's why Minecraft works so well is because it's a blank slate. So, you know, if you're coming into it, you know, doing this survival thing or you're building restaurants like little kids would do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like what you put in is what you get out. And if you're just committed to having a good time with your kid, I just can't imagine a better way to just... I don't know. I never really got the Minecraft thing until I played with my kids, and you know they die and then they start freaking out, like, get my stuff! Oh my god! Or you know, just the different stories that they come up with, and going through that with them. I don't know if I would have enjoyed Minecraft without my kids as part of it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I played it in its beta stages way back when, I don't know when it was, 2009, something like that, and it wasn't. There really wasn't much of a game at that point. Really, all that was just kind of community driven. I mean, it was fun because you could see other people in there. You could make random stuff, but it was very basic. It's grown into a very, very deep game. Like, if you want to get into the scientific and engineering components, you can use Redstone, and people do crazy things with
Actually,
Redstone.
so speaking of this, I think it was this last week, I wish I had linked that on there. Somebody had built a computer in Minecraft, with Minecraft, so that you could unfollow Notch or block Notch on Twitter because he's such a fucking wanker.
Yeah.
And he's awful. So I love that somebody used Minecraft to just be like, fuck you, Notch.
God, there's only a way to do that with Star Wars and George Lucas. Man. But no, it's like Minecraft is as deep as you want it to be. And like you're talking about, it's that perfect water cooler game where you go to work the next day if you happen to have someone else who plays it, or you just, when
Not
you're
my
at
work.
Well, wherever. It's like a social gathering, you know what I mean? Like you get together with like-minded people wherever you are. And it's one of those things where you talk about what happened in your game, depending on what you chose to do. Like you're saying, it's like, you know, you die and you freak out and people are trying to go get your stuff. Or you discover something really cool, like I did, a pyramid, and it blows you up. I
have a very different take. I don't see it as a water cooler game.
Really?
I feel it as stigmatized as like the game that bogs down YouTube with bullshit videos, the game that every kid under, 15 has been playing and watching YouTube videos and talking about incessantly. Like maybe because I'm coming from a parenting kind of thing where it's just like, in my mind, adults hate Minecraft.
Interesting.
To
See,
me.
I come from a kind of a different viewpoint than that because, again, we covered it a little back when I was at PC Gamer, and at that point, it was definitely not a kid's game. It was very much...
But that was a while ago.
Right.
Now
I
it's become that
viewpoint.
game. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like Legos, right? It's like, oh, your kid has that thing. He has the Minecraft. my kid has the Minecraft. They talk about it. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, for sure.
And that's the kind of thing I get. Whereas I feel like if parents actually sat down and played, just like with Legos, it's what you put in with your kid is what you get out. And it's been a cool game to me. So,
yeah.
and it was very surprising for it to suddenly take over. I thought I was done with it. It's happened a couple times. Like, I think this is my third time where I've been obsessively like needing to play it. Hopefully I'm going to break away because Pyre's out today.
We've got other games coming
and I've got actually games to play. Like, we're in this lull and playing Minecraft with my kids.
Tale too, I really do.
So I played Minecraft, and there was actually other games that I played as well.
Can we talk about the daddy one?
Yeah, so I played Dream Daddy, a dad dating simulator, which is an indie game for $15 on Steam.
It's alarmingly good.
If for some reason you haven't been on Twitter or seen pictures of this game, it is really taken off as being kind of this social, like everybody's playing it, and it's basically you create a hot dad, and he's a single dad. His wife or husband has passed away. You get to choose which one. And he's taking care of his daughter, and then you go out, you move to a new place, and you suddenly meet a lot of other hot dads, and then it's kind of a dating simulator, and so you got to, navigate these social relationships and find your perfect match, and you've got, like, your different kinds of dads. There's, like, the sporty running dad, and then there's, like, the bar guy with the glasses and, the jacket that's all down for the one-night stand dad, and it's fun. It's kind of fun. It's definitely the best part is in the beginning. It's got a kind of great character creation. So you're making your hot dad,
which I mistook as the dad you were going to date. So I made this like and we discovered we have very different outlooks on which kind of dads we find attractive. So I made like this tiny Ken doll like dad with cartoon anime eyes, because I find that apparently attractive. And then all of a sudden it's like, be that dad. I was like, oh no, I'm being the guy. It's just weird.
Yeah. So you make your dad, and then you go out, and I think there's like 7 different kinds of dads. There's the big bear dad, and then there's the Christian dad with the fabulous.
Really?
I think that's Joseph. Which I haven't gone deep into this game. I played for an hour or two.
Yeah.
But I think Joseph, I know, is the one where people are having a hard time getting him as the ending, because you got to, kind of navigate the thing and then choose the dad that you want to be with forever. And I definitely see that on Twitter as people saying, Joseph, I'm trying to get the Joseph ending. And I haven't seen anybody say that they've successfully gotten that dad.
Is he Joseph of Arimathea, the ancient knight crusader?
He's the fabulous blonde-haired dad. I don't know.
Wow.
I was pretty down with that dad until then he was like, oh, I'm going to be down at the church. And I was like, I killed it. Sorry, buddy. And
it's not working out, pal.
It's kind of fun, though. So, I was, so into getting my dad to hook up with another dad that I, went to the bar and I picked up the bar guy. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going to go home with this guy. And then you get there and, he confirms yes or no. Do you want to spend the night? And he's yes. Okay, whatever. And it's not graphical. It doesn't show anything. You just know that you spent the night and whatever. And the next day I felt kind of empty inside, because he's kind of kicks you out. And I was like, oh no, I've made terrible dad decisions. I didn't think of, you go home and your daughter's kind of like, oh, where were you all night? And, so I felt a little guilty. It actually made me feel a little like, oh no, that's not what I was supposed to do with my dad. I'm supposed to find I have a kid now.
Nurture the dad and find the other dad.
I have a kid now. I got to think about my kid and what her needs would be in my dad relationship.
I did not get that far. I literally just built. It's funny because it's just that screen. It's like, build that dad.
With that exclamation point, build that dad.
That's pretty much as far as I got. I would actually look forward to playing a little bit more, but may or may not happen depending on the workload. But it's one of those games you just from the sound of it, you're like, it's probably a crap game, right? You're like, oh, it's not one of those stupid.
No, the writing actually is pretty fun and zippy. The writing's, it is just a basic choose your own adventure. There's not a ton of gameplay that's going to happen. There was this quick Pokemon kind of thing in the park when I was trying to brag about my daughter versus the other dad bragging about his daughter. It was like, he hits you with this brag for 10 points. But it's never goes really above and beyond the whole, not walking simulator, what I want to say, kind of choose your own adventure or, interactive novel kind of thing. But the art is done really well. I think the cartoon guys are really cool.
Good art direction. Yeah.
The dads are all super hot. Even the big fat.
Yeah, even I noticed that.
Even Brian, the big bare bellied dad in the park was kind of like, rub that belly.
Bastards. Do they have the guns like this?
So it's a pretty fun game, and I think it's just, it's awesome that it's kind of starts that conversation, lets people put themselves in the shoes. Like, I'm obviously not a hot dad looking for other hot dads, but playing a game like that, you can kind of put yourself in someone else's shoes, and I don't know, it's cool.
In the writing, I did actually get through a little bit of the writing, and it reminded me the style and context of A Night in the Woods, that kind of playful banter.
Yeah, because there's a lot of playful banter between you, the dad, and your daughter, who is kind of getting ready to go to college and is very aware of that her dad needs to go out and date somebody, and it's kind of like, you do it, go dad, go find somebody. And I don't understand. So in the beginning, like right away, it lets you choose whether your ex or the girl's other parent was a woman or a man.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure that you can only choose to be with men in that game.
Oh, really?
I don't know. So I chose. It was like, was her parent a girl or a guy, and I chose guy because I thought that would be a funner experience, and then it's all dads. But I'm pretty sure it's just a gay dating sim. Like, I don't think there's women. I've not seen any pictures on Twitter of people dating women. So
what about the bi? Well, if we want to do guys and girls.
Well, I think that was the thing, is like, you could have been with a girl, but now you're looking for a hot dad. It's a dad dating simulator.
Right.
There's no mom. Yeah. Though people brought it up on Twitter that maybe there'll be a hot mom dating simulator kind of takeoff of that. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, well, yes, then maybe that'd be cool too. So I don't know. It's kind of fun. It's $15. I thought it was
for $15. It's pretty good.
If you have seen it and you're interested, it's peaked at all, I think it's kind of fun. It's not the kind of game that you're just going to be like, I'm going to be sucked into this game forever. The gameplay is amazing, but I think it's just kind of fun. I honestly would prefer it on an iPad or something, though, because it's very casual. Like, I don't necessarily want to sit at my computer and play that game, but it's cool.
That's true. It would be a good mobile game, honestly.
It would, and I don't know if they have the money to port that or not. It is an indie game, so. So I played that. I played Minecraft, and I also played Layton's Mystery Journey on my Android. This is not, if you're familiar with the Professor Layton series from the 3DS, this is the daughter now this time. I have to say that for $15, I'm so far not impressed. It is not what I remember from the other Professor Layton games. I actually had this marked on my calendar as something I was really looking forward to, because it's basically just, if you're not familiar with the series, it's a lot of little mini puzzles, which I think is fun. So it's kind of a story, and he's a detective and he runs an agency, but then, you come across a clue or something, you got to do a logic puzzle or, just mini puzzles, which I am always down with, puzzle games. This game so far is just the puzzle department. It's lacking, and that's kind of what the game is about. I have to say I'm not impressed so far. You can definitely tell it's going to be on the 3DS soon or something, but it's basically a port right to my phone. It's okay.
So I actually saw this in the show notes, and I thought this was a funny made-up game. I didn't realize it was a real game. Because the whole title is like... Okay,
so it's Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel? Because they call her Kat. It's the daughter. So it's Professor Layton's daughter, and the Millionaire's Conspiracy is the full name of the game. It's like $15.99. It's on iOS and Android, soon to come out on the 3DS.
It sounds like Dr. Fumke's 100% old-time family band solution.
Well, the Professor Layton series have always had like the second part, because there's usually it's a different mystery every time. And basically it's kind of like WarioWare or something, where you're getting a lot of different little mini games, but then they kind of put this sugar coating on the whole thing to give you a story behind it. Yep. This time it's a little more disjointed. Before it was like less about the story and more about the puzzles. I definitely say the production quality is great. Like, there's really, like, they really animated, like, it's almost like a little animated series in between your different puzzles of the girl, and she's, got her assistant, and then they have a dog that talks, but only they can hear the dog, and, it's very, sweet and sugary kind of game, but usually the puzzles are actually really hard. Huh. The kind of logic puzzles. Like, one of them early on is, talking about a clock, and the clock is currently on 3:30, and what is the least amount of times that you would have to touch the clock to get it to 12 o'clock? And then it gives you, like, you got to push in the little number there to answer that. So most people would answer 1, because maybe you'd move both hands at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, it's 0, because you just wait. That would be the least amount of times that you would touch. You know what I mean? So they're logic puzzles, and sometimes they're not necessarily like this puzzle has a very clear, defined answer that I'm going to figure out right away. You kind of actually think about it and then get the answer. So sometimes it's like moving some pieces around to make the letter K with a couple triangles, or sometimes it's more of a logic puzzle. Or, but I'd say if you're a fan of the Professor Layton series, I don't think this one was up. I haven't played them all. I definitely remember a couple of them early on the 3DS or whatever DS at whatever iteration it was.
SD.
Because it's been, there's like, the 3DS has been reinvented like 18 times. I think
Mark
there's a new one right now. It's like the 2DS XL that just came, I don't know.
3DS, DS, SD, LX, XL.
Yeah, anyways, I've played a couple of them and I really enjoyed them because they were just, I like puzzles. Like just random, like you can just strip away the story and just give me the random ass puzzles and I would be happy. And this one is just, the puzzles aren't there. They're just not hard enough or whatever.
How many damn Professor Layton games are there?
I think there's like 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Prolific, this Professor Layton.
Well, no, I think he's gone now. So supposedly this one tells you the story of what happened to the professor and now it's his daughter or why, and maybe you figure that out. I don't know.
Huh.
But I have not gotten that far because I can't say that's engaging enough for me to... Like, I remember before playing the other... whatever Professor Layton I played, I just like played it straight through. Like I was like, oh my god, I can't get enough of these puzzles.
Yeah.
This time, meh. So when you're kind of holding up like this game for $16 on my phone versus the Dream Daddy dating sim for $15, I'd say go with the Dream Daddy dating sim.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you enjoyed the dating sim one a lot more.
I really did.
For the money.
I did.
Yeah.
For the money. Huh. Well, honestly, Minecraft for the money is my recommendation out of these 3. But on
a serious note, I mean, just circling back around to Minecraft, I don't know, probably everyone's played it at some point, but it really is a fun game, well worth the very minor investment you have to put into it.
I guess if somebody hasn't played Minecraft, my suggestion is to, maybe get your feet wet a little bit in creative, but then to go and play survival with people that you know. I think that's just, it's fun. You build stuff together, you help each other out, then you go and do your own thing, and then you come back and build stuff together. Like, I like that fluidity of it, where it's like, it's fun to play with somebody, but also I can just go over here and build my thing and not talk to anybody, build next to somebody. And then you walk over and you're like, oh, what are you working on? And then you kind of connect your town. And I mean,
wow.
I don't know. If you don't know about Minecraft by now, I don't know what you're doing listening to this podcast or watching this video. It's like, So.
Well, transitioning from that then to another game you can play with another person, Pyre is finally out. That's right, folks.
So finally, and I am super psyched because the reviews are coming in and they're looking really good. Like, we got a chance to play this game, but now that I'm seeing reviews of the full game, because we just played
the preview.
Yeah, we played the preview at PAX, but we played 2 players, so it's more of just the sports game.
Yep.
If you haven't heard about Pyre, it's by Supergiant Games. They did Bastion and Transistor, which I'm going to go right out and say that I'm a super fan of this studio.
Bastion
as it is.
Amazing.
Transistor was amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyways, so this is kind of a sports game, but with lots of art style, lots of flair, and I don't know. It's kind of, the gameplay of it is very much like basketball. Where you're controlling 2 different teams, or you're controlling your own team versus somebody else, and you've got 4 players on each team, and you can only control 3. Okay, yeah. You can only control 1 at each time, so you got to kind of switch between them, and each has their strengths and weaknesses. And
I really didn't realize I had much single player at all until very much before we started recording. You talked to me about it, and I quickly glanced over stuff before I installed it, before we started recording the show. I thought it was predominantly only multiplayer, and that's why I was saying, we should install it out there on the PlayStation, so that was just a multiplayer game. And then it really didn't dawn on me until recently, after going over some of the reviews. It's like, it's single player, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's about 10-hour single-player game where it takes you through it. I would say that some of these reviews are spoiler. I think Kotaku's in particular has spoilers in it, so I just skimmed it and didn't quite read it all. I just kind of like glanced over the first 2 paragraphs and then moved on. But most people I know...
My notes here are wrong, I'm sorry. So actually, PC Gamer did give it... So PC Gamer, Wes Fenlon reviewed it. A friend of mine who I used to actually live with, and Wes is a good dude. I think he just happened to not enjoy it, for like you were saying, because they kind of built up this big world from what it sounded like, and didn't really maybe deliver on it.
Yes, I think his complaints are a little bit story-wise, but in general, he didn't enjoy the game, which is, that basic kind of basketball versus each other. Like if you're not enjoying that particular gameplay element, I think that doesn't matter how great the art is, how great the sound is, the rest of the game is going to fall apart. So I think those are valid. He gave it the lowest score that I had seen, which is a 71, which is nothing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
No, that's in PC Gamer, that's a good score. That's literally classified as good.
No, it is a good. A 7 is good. Yeah. It's just it's not the game for everybody. I don't think that's.
You're right.
No, if you're not
that's
enjoying
getting into
that
niche territory.
Yeah, and I think it is. I mean, in the base of it is just this very simple kind of, nuanced basketball game that you're playing. So if you're not enjoying that, it's 10 hours of this basketball game because that's basically the game. So just like a JRPG, if you're not enjoying that whole fighting style, then you're not going to enjoy it. Those kind of games.
So IGN gave it a 9.7. Polygon actually gave it a 9. That's where I was wrong in my notes.
Oh.
And Kotaku didn't have a score, but they recommended it. So by golly, it's crazy. I know, but we're actually going to review a game on Atomic Facepalm. Shocking. We haven't done that in like a year. But
so when we get done recording that and editing this video, I'm jumping right in.
Yeah, I'll start on Pyre too. Yep. But I gotta finish. Why can't I think of the name anymore? It has a mage in it.
Mage's Tale?
That's the one. I was like, Mages of Australia. No, that's not the right mage one. Yeah, I gotta finish that at some point. But man, Minecraft is still feeling the pull.
M2, but
I know. Hey, gotta focus here. We gotta actually review something.
I could talk about my chicken farm,
which is damn impressive.
Yeah, so I have some sort of desire to make just as many chickens as possible within one chicken coop and see if I can like crash the server or something. So I just basically go in there and I just harvest all those eggs and make more chickens and more chickens. So you can't even really move in there anymore because there's so many chickens, but I just keep going in and making more chickens. So that's what I do with my Minecraft time, in case you're wondering.
All right, so now we're going to go to a little bit of news bits. Talk about these real quick. So Pokemon Go was in the news. Fest. Well, Pokemon Go Fest is in the news. And the actual headline here, the Pokemon Go Fest attendees get apology gifts after server issues. So, unfortunately, everyone went to this Pokemon Go Fest, and the game didn't fucking work.
So I want to point out that this happened the same time as San Diego Comic-Con. So people that were, like, really into both had to make that decision and say, you know what? I love Pokemon Go so much. I'm going to go to the Pokemon Go Fest. I'm going to put my cards in. This is the nerd event that I want to go to for the weekend. And they got burned. They got burned real bad because when you get together a bazillion people in the same place and you try to hit the, cell towers with all this Pokemon Go-ness, guess what happens? It doesn't work and nobody could do anything. Apparently it was just, not only that, so one of the articles I read, I don't know if it's this particular Polygon article, but it was just talking about the lines. So they weren't prepared for getting people into the park, and there was, even though you pre-registered online, it took 2 to 3 hours to get in.
Which is astonishing.
Not only that, but then when people got fed up and were like, holy shit, this fucking sucks, I just want to go home, it was like a 30-minute wait to get out. So there was a line to leave as well.
How could they screw that up so bad? Like, look at PAX and this is not new territory.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it sounds like it was kind of like that Fire Festival thing where somebody got in over their head. They started marketing this and everybody, signed up and they were not prepared to deal. I don't think people realize that event organization is so difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of hard as it turns out.
You've got to do a lot of planning when you're dealing with large groups of people and entertaining them. It's like a party, but times a bazillion.
Yeah.
So, people couldn't get online. They couldn't get the things that they wanted. There was special Pokemon Go monsters that were supposed to, be able to catch. And it's
a colossal catastrophe, in every sense of the word. There's another bit of the story we'll talk about in a second, but the CEO of, how do you pronounce this? Hanke? I can never say that right. Niantic, I think.
Sure. Let's just go ahead and put that asterisk next to everything that we do on the show and just be like, we don't know how to pronounce things.
Well, that one's not as bad as some of the ones. I probably should know how to do that one. But the CEO was there too, and he had a bunch of interviews scheduled, and he couldn't even do them because he was trying to fix the game and the bandwidth and everything else that was going on. So all said and done, he ended up saying that every player will be gifted $100 worth of their currency, Pokecoins. So, they came out with something. But I was trying to think of this because, Pokemon Go is not necessarily my thing, but it's extremely popular. It's come down quite a bit, since it started.
Well, it had its ups and downs, I think. Yeah.
But people still love it. So I was thinking, what if we went to PAX and we got there and just there were no games, or just we got there and it was like just they couldn't get their shit together and there was no booths. It's like that would be pretty heartbreaking if you, from an event goer standpoint. So I sympathize with both sides here because my full-time day job is an IT person, and I could not imagine the stress and just horrible feeling of this poor guy who made this great successful game, and now he's just troubleshooting it for the whole entire time, and everyone's pissed. Everyone hates him just because he's there, and they're like, oh my God, your game doesn't work, fix it. And from what the story was saying, people were literally, he was sitting there, like kind of at the forefront. People were just shouting at him.
Yeah, so there was actually a couple articles, and these will be linked down below, but one of them was saying that the best part of it was the CEO just kind of sitting on the stage and very calmly talking with people and being like, I understand it, I hear you, like, and I think that's cool too, because it doesn't give off that vibe like they were just trying to cash in on Pokemon Go and take people's money. I think they were genuinely trying to make a cool event for people, and they just didn't consider all the things that you needed to consider when making an event like this. Nor did anybody really ever make an event where it's hinged on the cellular network like this before. Like, I don't think there's ever been anything where it's like gonna tax the cellular network that much.
There has been. It was called 9/11. I'm dead serious. So when 9/11 happened, it ruined the cellular networks because everybody was trying to get on their phones at once.
And text people?
Yeah, and no one could. Now, this was when cell phones were just starting to become popular, but it was like, geez, guys, no, there have been times where this has happened. There were a few others, too. I just can't
Jeez, I didn't even have a cell phone then. So imagine now where you don't walk anywhere without seeing somebody with a smart tablet touchscreen in their hand. So and really, times 100 bazillion.
It's hindsight is 2020. But you're like, maybe they did this and I didn't see it written in the article. Why didn't it set up like 100 hotspots, and just say you've got
So they were trying to get people to buy the tickets to it, and then it ended up going awry, obviously, and then they opened it up to a wider range, meaning you didn't need a ticket. So then the people that bought the tickets are like, hey, what the fuck? I bought this ticket, but then any Joe Schmo that's happens to be in town can participate in this event and just walk around and do all the things that I'm doing. So I think it was this ticketing thing, but maybe they should have done some sort of virtual ticketing. You know what I mean? Like you bought it, and so you now have access within the game. It's kind of like a in-game currency. You know what I mean? Like you pay for something in the game, and then that allows you access. And then it seems like even if they'd done that, though,
I think there still would have been problems, but I think what we're getting at here and what it sounds like from these stories is that it was very little preparation. It's more like this guy sounds like a cool CEO. It sounds like he was sitting cross-legged the whole time, just kind of in a very, sort of meditative kind of, it happens, man. I think it was probably, they just wanted to get together, get all these people together, be fun. They didn't really think about, like, well, what happens when we get all these people together? What about the ifs? They didn't think about the if. What if this happens? It was more like, it's going to be fun. It'll be a big party. Everyone's going to love it. Well, as it turns out, your game is heavily dependent on a digital network. And if that network doesn't work, there's no game, and people will get very upset.
Which I think is something that they because Pokemon Go has kind of gone up and down, and because of the network's up and downs, So that's actually the reason that I can't play it, is that we live in a super rural area. And trying to play Pokemon Go just doesn't work here. Like there is literally like 200 feet from here is a Pokestop, and you can't do anything there because there's no cellular. It's like zero. You have 0 bars there. And then there's another one about 500 feet up the road, another Pokestop, and you have 0 bars there. Yeah. And then a couple places where I had like a bar or two, I'd catch something, I'd get home, and then it would be gone. And I think I tried to play for 2 days, and I was just like, it just does not work in Vermont. I'm sorry. This just doesn't, it sounds really cool. This is exactly the kind of game, like I'm not a Pokemon person, but it's the kind of game that I could be down with. Just this little kind of background thing that you're always working on a little bit, and you get to walk around to do things. Like, so awesome, but just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I do kind of, like I said, I sympathize with all the parties involved here. The CEO, the people that went, it was all for good reasons. It just fell apart in an explosive fashion. So if you were one of the people that went there, boy, I'm sorry. Maybe they'll do it again, and maybe they'll actually like hire a crew of event planners, because as it turns out, preparing is important. So
So in that article where they talked about the guy, the best part of this poke fest was the CEO kind of hanging out. They talked about some guy that had come from Germany, had spent like $880 round trip just to get here. And the guy asked him, like, are you happy that you did this? And he was just ecstatic just because he got to shake the hand of the person that made the game that means so much to them. So, I mean, it wasn't all terrible, but hopefully they consider these things next time.
Yeah.
They get everybody's hopes up.
I've experienced things not really to this level of like, oh my God, what were they doing? But like when I first went to QuakeCon, that was very loosey-goosey. It was more Woodstockish. So John Carmack and all those guys, when they were still with id, it felt like just not really well organized. It was organized in the sense that like, people were in certain spots, but it was just, oh yeah, park wherever, but there's no parking because it's like the middle of Dallas. It's like you get parked forever away, and you get there and it's kind of like, well, where do we go? There's no real signs. So I have some experience, but this nothing like to this level. So again, I couldn't imagine. I mean, it's cool that the German guy was great with that, but if I had spent $800 and something,
I've been fucking pissed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing was QuakeCon was free, by the way. It doesn't cost anything.
Actually, I don't know how much. I didn't remember that from this story, is how much it cost for the tickets to get here. I mean, not just like your plane tickets, but the actual
to actually get in. It wasn't free.
Admission. I know it wasn't free, but
yeah. But, good on the CEO for not, like, I don't know, freaking out and trying to blame other things. It sounded like he took it. He took it like a champ. He said, yeah, I screwed up, and he tried to fix it, and he just kind of maintained a calm demeanor, and he was a pro.
And he didn't hide. I think that's a really key thing, is he made himself accessible to the people that were upset that if he takes your money, he's going to be there to hear your complaints.
He owned it. He really did.
That, makes it a little better. But still, ouch, guys. Ouch.
But again, when you have a disaster like this, I guess it's nice to see a leader, unlike certain presidential people in certain countries, just kind of be like, yeah, we screwed up. You don't freak out. You do it. You go along with it. So, yeah. Bad situation, but he handled it well. And Bree just opened up a little newspaper article here, which I actually found pretty cool. Was this on Twitter? Is that where you found this?
I found this on Twitter. So it came from, the Times of London. The headline is "Middle-aged, highly educated, and female is the typical gamer." I'd love to have read the article in full, but it's behind a paywall, and I'm not going to pay or give my email to a company in London. Right. Like, I'm never going to read their thing. So it's just... I'm going to link it down below for the full article that somebody took like a picture of the article that was in the newspaper itself, but you kind of got to read through the picture. It's pretty interesting. So they polled 10,000 people, I think it was. Yeah, 10,000 adults took place in the study, and it ended up being that women are actually playing more games, at least in Europe. This is a European-based study. Are playing more games, and they're usually well educated. They're older, so that's like 43 years old was the like mean or the regular age. I was actually very surprised because that's not what I see in my day-to-day life as far as what game people are like.
It's a different culture, a little bit overseas, but not entirely different in that perspective. Like, there's certainly a different overlook, but I feel like games kind of are games. So, yeah, I was very surprised. I almost thought it would be the other way around. I thought maybe here in the States it would be this. And since you have those disparate countries overseas where they're still kind of a little backwards. Not
well,
London.
I don't know that they polled every country. They didn't necessarily. I don't know what the sample size is on this study. And I actually tried to look around for this full article and more information. I just saw this like today or yesterday. Because I'd actually like to see like, where they sampled this from. Is this all, England? Is this just Europe? Like, there wasn't enough information on that data and what kind of games are these women playing? It's just basically a bit of a fluff article based off of somebody else's research, and I didn't get enough time to go through it and kind of see what they mean. But 10,000 people is a large...
That's a big sampling. Yeah, so. I mean, usually stuff like this, you see it's like 50 people, 100. They really don't go that much into it because it's expensive, and it takes a lot. Again, if you're into event planning, it takes a lot to kind of correlate that data and put it together. And I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like a xenophobe. I meant like other countries like Iran and, countries that are not very
there's a woman just got arrested because she was wearing shorts in a country. So, I'm not saying that. I'm just... I don't know that this was an even spread across Europe. I know that it was more European based, and that was all.
But it's pretty cool. I actually, it's nice to hear that. Because there is still that weird, I mean, I think the stereotype is proven to a certain degree, at least where we are, where it's like, you know, you've got that image in your head of what the typical console gamer, I guess, or even PC gamer looks like. I think without even me describing it, it pops in your head, you know? And I don't know. I think for a while that was true, but you really are seeing video games become more and more accepted, and it's not quite as taboo or weird as it used to be. I mean, video games are kind of everywhere now. It's gender neutral, I feel like, at this point. There's still a lot of progress to be made, absolutely. But, you know, part of this article, they were talking about how, wherever this takes place, it's an equal amount of women and guys who are in its sampling who play Call of Duty, right? And you would normally think of Call of Duty as a very frat boyish or teenager-ish, you know, that's kind of, but apparently no, it's, you know, there's a lot of diversity there, which is good.
No, it absolutely is good. I guess I'm more familiar with America and America gaming culture, and it's not necessarily the people I know, but just that Twitter sphere of, you know, like just a few weeks ago, we were talking about how people were in an uproar because there was female avatars in Call of Duty Online. And it's like, at least in America, it feels like in the last few years, this Gamergate thing, there's this polarization between, you know, women in games. Like you get, you know, you make the new Doctor Who a female and people are freaking out like, oh my God, you're pandering to women. But it's like, women are half of it, you know what I mean? In nerd culture. And so I like seeing something like this that, you know, that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy.
No, it does me too.
I've been feeling a little jaded lately with the internet culture around gaming. It definitely is like, I feel women play games more, but it's like this vocal minority of male gamers are really pushing back hard against that fact that women are just as much gamers and have always been just as much gamers as men. That, I don't know.
And God forbid they're as good, if not better, you know, if you're looking at competitive games too. So it's like, yeah, I think you just have that generation of men who are like, oh, you know, it's the women are still trying to take our games. It's like, no, it's a...
But women have been part of games this whole time.
Absolutely.
It's just like you just haven't been paying attention. So I guess that's kind of the point that I was trying to make is like, it doesn't matter what you're saying about, you know, you shouldn't be female avatars in Call of Duty. Women are playing these games, whether you like it or not. And we're getting through it, whether you've given us a female avatar or not, because that's the kind of, you know what I mean, they're dedicated to it. So.
I mean, just from when we go to PAX, if you want to talk diversity, like you go up to the upper levels, which is one of our favorite levels. It's kind of like where the indie area is. But there was that little area where we saw like there's the, I don't remember the name of them specifically, there was like the Christian gamers. And they're actually pretty cool, honestly. I thought they would be kind of annoying and weird, but they're nice.
No, they're actually the super nicest. So I thought it was a joke. For some reason, because I'm a jerk. And I can't believe that anybody else believes different things than I do. So I thought it was a joke, and I was like, oh man, and they got like such well marketed, you know, like designed marketing materials, and I was like, hell yeah, I want a Jesus Loves Gamers sticker, and it's on my water bottle still this day. And then they were just such nice people that I felt like such an asshole for like thinking that they were a joke. I mean, whatever, they believe what they want to believe, but he was just like, and Jesus loves you, and he said it in such a way that I was like, man, I really believe that he believes that. Like, just is. They were so nice. It was awesome.
You might not agree with them, but it's nice to see that. And there was also a lot of like gay gamer stuff and, you know, LGBTQ gamer stuff. Like, gaming is a wide and all-enveloping hobby.
Because it's media. And all media is like...
This is not a dude-only bro club. It never was, like you were saying. For a while, it had that stigma that unfortunately was perpetuated by certain highfalutin individuals. But, you know, it is what it is now. It's like the movie industry. It's powerful, and a lot of people like it. And, hey, whether you like it or not, it's diverse. And this only goes to prove that even more. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Games. You know what actually reminds me this morning? I was in my car getting gas, and I got back in my car with a coffee, and this kid walks by. I would say maybe 19. He looks at me, and I was like, oh, I recognize him. Knocks on the door. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And I was like, what's going on here? It's a little weird. And he's like, yeah, roll your window down. So I roll the window down. He's like, hey, man, you a veteran? I was like, yeah, I'm a veteran. And he just shakes my hand.
What? You didn't talk about this.
I know. I got a little emotional. He just like, thanks, man. Thanks. And just walked off. I was like, wow, that really doesn't happen.
Huh.
It was so random. It just reminded me of like, I don't know why, what set that off. But yeah, It was like, that was actually, and I had a very like, I was just very guarded for some reason because when someone's knocking on your window, and I kind of felt like I was like, I shouldn't have been that guarded. I don't know. I just have that weird, like, we're in Vermont, which is a very liberal state, I guess. And it's like, I don't know. When someone's asking you a veteran, you're in like a state like California or Vermont, you're like, should I say I'm a veteran? Especially with the current climate. But it was just very nice. What I'm trying to say is there are good people. And I feel like gaming has become a bastion of very good people. Unfortunately, you're going to have those certain people that stand out and they get a lot of coverage, like Gamergate, like unfortunately Notch. But I feel like those are becoming the minority, for what it's worth. That's my 2 cents. I don't remember, but games are good. Anyway, since I overcooked that whole discussion, Overcooked is coming onto the Switch. Oh, speaking of the Switch.
Yay, finally. So I don't know. So we finally got a Switch. It just came in the mail today. I was not one of those people that I wanted a Switch since it came out. I even went to the stores that day, but I'm not decisive enough to pre-order anything like that. And so Amazon has been doing them in small batches. And if you're an Amazon Prime member for about an hour, you have last week it came out on Amazon. They had some stock, and I went in there and I put it in my cart. I was like, I don't know. I'm not ready. Am I not going to get it? And by the time I went to go check out, it was gone. So this time I just immediately bought it, and I actually have 0 games for it, but I'm excited.
Have one.
We have one. We have Zelda, which we already had, but I want Zelda.
But it's better because it's on the Switch and it's mobile.
It's mobile. So we have Zelda for the Wii U. My kids have beat it. I've watched them beat it, and I really have not got any time with that. Because they've been playing it so much. So I'm really happy to kind of just start fresh, start over, have my own little guarded thing that I can lay in bed and play Zelda.
Your own personal Switch.
Yeah. So, but I was very excited to see that Overcooked is coming out because we both like that game.
It's an awesome game.
Yeah. And also I want to mention that Hollow Knight is coming out for the Switch, which I actually thought when I bought this that it already was. And again, I was like, I hadn't really beaten it yet. And I was thinking I'll use my time on the Switch to beat it. That's going to come out soon.
That's not going to help me not want to play it. Damn it.
The lineup, though, for the Switch is still a little lacking.
It's
when
iffy.
I go look at the games that they have out, there's a few games here and there, but, ARMS looks good, but I'm not sure that I want to pay $60 for it. Mario Kart looks great, but do I want to pay $60 for Mario Kart that I already have, kind of, but now it's a little different. So it's not quite there. And actually, Bomberman I was looking into because I love Bomberman, and it's just a fun party game. But that has actually not gotten very good reviews on the Switch.
That's a shame.
And it's, again, $60. So there's some indie games that are on there that look really good. Goner's on there. That's $10, I think, or $19.
Goner's on the Switch, huh?
Yeah, Goner's.
Oh.
There's several indie games. And then the other thing that I'd say is still disappointing is that the Virtual Console is not coming out until 2018.
That sucks.
And that's really what I want from the Switch is not new games. I want to be able to play indie games portable. I want a few party games that we can play on the plane or when we're traveling, and just the Virtual Console thing. Yeah. So really what I want from the Switch is this mobile gaming kind of thing. It's not quite there yet. I mean, obviously I'm looking forward to the Mario game coming out in October, but I was just.
You want the platform to do what it was designed to do? How dare you?
I want all those games
Come on
right
now. Let's not get carried away now.
But I definitely want Overcooked, and I really want Hollow Knight. I actually was very disappointed because I opened it up today, and I searched the store, and I was like, wait, I thought it was on there. No, and I searched again, and then I looked on the internet, and it was not on there, and I was just, I was really thinking that I was going to play Hollow Knight.
I'm a little curious. I've seen a lot of reviews. We did a lot of coverage on this kind of when it was coming out. It's smaller than I expected. The little buttons up here are tiny. To give you reference, about the size of an Advil. The joypads are tiny too. They're my thumbs. I have girlish tiny fingers, and these kind of fall under my thumbs, and you can't see them. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how Hollow Knight plays on this.
I think it might be one of those situations where you use this and then a Pro controller.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. But no, man, this thing it looks like well built. The only thing we said that I think this has been echoed 100 times, but the bottom of this is where the power adapter goes in. So if you try and brace it on a table, you can't plug it in without maybe some sort of extra dock, or maybe if you put it up on books or something. So you put the power. That's kind of weird.
I don't know why they chose to put the power thing there.
Yeah.
I definitely say out of the, like, I've not even played a game on it really besides loading it up. The touchscreen on this is 900 bazillion times better than the Wii U touchscreen.
Oh, yeah, that thing is rough.
The Wii U touchscreen feels like a car touchscreen, you know? It's like, oh, okay, they gave me a touchscreen, but they didn't really give me a touchscreen.
No.
This feels like as responsive as a tablet or as a, you know, cell phone. That's the touchscreen technology that I was expecting from the Wii U. That's not really there. So I'm excited.
This
now,
is good stuff.
Yeah, so today's the day where I have too much. I want to still play Minecraft. I want to lay in bed and play Zelda. I want to play Pyre. I need to edit this video.
We knew it was coming, but it hits you, and you're like, you can never prepare. We're just talking so much about preparing, but you can't prepare for this amount of gaming. Just too much happening at once now. Every fucking year this happens. Not like getting a new console, but I mean...
Yeah,
you hit that game.
And I mean, earlier this year that was happening too. So I'm really looking forward to going to PAX and having that on the plane because it's a long plane ride for us and in lines and all that stuff. So I'm excited. Looking forward to more game releases like Overcooked is awesome.
For $20, by the way. I'm sorry, I kind of went aside on that story before I finished the headline.
Yeah, it was kind of tied into us getting the Switch is why I put it in here because that. And if you haven't played Overcooked, I think that is like an awesome party. It's one of my favorite party games, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to figure it out.
It's a fantastic spectator game.
Yeah.
Like it's just as much fun to watch people play it than actually play it. And again, good game for the whole family. If you want to just have something that doesn't, have
it's like up there with like Mario
half.
Kart and those kind of Super Smash Brothers.
For sure.
So, yay, Switch.
We're going like on an hour. Do you want to call it good? Do you want to?
Let's get this last little bit here.
Okay, the Warhammer one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think it was really funny. I was like looking for news stories, and on PC Gamer, they had some poor guy. I actually don't even know his name.
He's a freelancer.
He's a freelancer. Yeah. Okay. He played all the most hated Warhammer games on Steam so that you don't have to. And
which is a great headline, by the way.
It is a great headline. So it was instantly a click because we had just played, over the winter, played Space Hulk, that Warhammer terrible game, which is actually his favorite of the terrible Warhammer games.
Well, but again, let's go ahead and talk about some of the, the things we're choosing from
so
here.
you played Space Hulk, Deathwing, and this is definitely, I would say, my recommended read of the week because just the commentary is really fun, and it's pretty funny. So you played Space Hulk, Deathwing, Battlefleet, Gothic Armada, which it had mixed reviews to start, and he thought it was going to be fun, and it was just terrible.
Most of these are Warhammer 40,000. There's maybe one that was Warhammer Fantasy, which is now Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, so then Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade, Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team, Eisenhorn?
I have
Xenos?
that one. You're talking to and gals. You're talking to a Warhammer zealot here. I have never fucking heard of that. I have no idea what that is. That might be an old board game module that they then repurpose. Maybe it's like along the lines of Blood Bowl or Ravenholm. I don't know.
Eisenhorn. It just makes me think of Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Einhorn.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is pink. Oh my God.
Eisenhorn is Xenos. Xenos is Eisenhorn.
Yeah.
Apparently that was pretty terrible. Talisman, the Horus Heresy, Warhammer 40K, Armageddon.org. Absolutely awful game. No wonder it's cheap.
So part of this article is great because he pulls a lot of comments from the Steam community. And again, these are mostly, overwhelmingly negative user reviews. So this is as an ex-freelancer and current freelancer, this is one of those assignments where you hesitate before you pitch it because you go, this is going to be amazing for the reader and I'm going to hate my life.
Because he had to play all these games for so long, because then he even played Dawn of War 3, Warhammer Arcade. I mean, it's pretty long. Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
So here's what I would say, though. I want to say one thing, awesome article. If you want to freelance and you're looking to do articles, this is a perfect blueprint for how to pitch an article. One, it's got an amazing headline that captures your interest. And it has a hard sell. It has a great benefit for the reader, which is really what you want the article to do. So you look at that and you go, that's something I want to look at. And then it has that, like we were talking about, that great personality. It's not just going down in a dry tone and talking about them. He actually involves some of his own tone without making it too much about himself. So if you really want to know how to kind of get into the business and how to pitch some of the bigger boys like IGN, PC Gamer, this is how you do it.
This is how you do it. But at the same time, how many hours of work was this
an insane amount, and he probably got paid $200. but still, I mean, this is the stuff that that editors love. So this is how you make an editor's job easy.
So Matt Elliott, good on you. This is actually my favorite little stupid story that I read this week.
No, it was great because, again, for someone like me who's like a Warhammer massive fan, it's also for some reason brings me joy to see so many people fail at making. Like, how do you fail? Like, there's so much rich history behind Warhammer 40K. Like, how do you fail at making?
And there's already like a game there for you. It's not like you're making a game out of a different kind of IP. It's not like a book or a movie and you're trying to gamify it. It is a game, and it's already got like 8 iterations of that game with tons of different rules, and you could simplify or streamline or just twist it differently. And nobody ever does. They they kind of just make a bunch of shit.
What's really hilarious about this article is Dawn of War 3 is on here.
I know.
Like, how the mighty have fallen. Sorry, Relic.
He actually, I think he says that he doesn't mind that as. I mean, well, he's played some shit games. Like at that point, it's probably like anything that has any kind of So
no, great. You're right. Read of the week. So definitely check that out. Highly recommend it. Good stuff there.
Yeah, that was good. So that is probably it for us this week.
Yep, that's going to do. I think we'll talk about PAX next week. PAX is coming up. We mentioned it briefly about the Switch, but we are getting psyched, folks. So we hope to see maybe some of you there. We shall see. But yes, that is it for us this week. We appreciate you all turning in. You're wonderful. You're awesome. Go ahead and leave a comment if you'd like to talk to us, or hit subscribe. That'd be great too. So for Chris
and Bree,
until next time, good luck.
Have fun.